You know what they say, don't read the comments. Well, I read the comments. Welcome to Scarlett's Don't Read the Comments. I realize I haven't done one of these videos in a while, so I thought it was time. So no more blibbity blab, we're getting right into it. Hi, my name is Scarlett, and I'm an atheist and skeptic, and today we are looking at some comments from my channel. And as is usual, I like to use these videos to thank everybody for all the YouTube stuffing, the liking, and the subscribing, and yes, the commenting. And I like to thank you with a couple of kitty pics. So stay till the end because I have a couple of good kitty pics for you. Algorithmo and his consort Algorithmo may not always have good recommendations for you, but I try to find you some of the best kitty pics that we have around here with these cute kitties. Okay, enough blibbity blab again. Let's get right into it. The first couple of comments comes off a video I did last week called Got Questions Wonders If Atheists Are More Intelligent Than Believers. And the answer seemed to be yes. They thought that atheists were more intelligent, but they were sinful, so you didn't want to be like them. Let's see what we've got. Chris Hicks 8347 writes, I literally describe how the whole universe works with science and God. The working organism of the universe is God. You do see the universe, and you know you're inside of it, so what's created you, the universe, God? And it's actually more of a recycling solid liquid gas. That's what the universe goes through. Yeah. Makes total sense. Are you saying we're flatulence? Or maybe we're poop? Maybe I didn't understand this after all, and I don't see where the God comes into play, and frankly, I'm not sure I see much science, so there's that. I don't know that we're any smarter for having read that comment. Let's go on to the next one. Talon19 writes, in my experience, neither atheists nor theists are logical because neither has evidence for or against the existence or non-existence of the supernatural. Debating belief or knowledge in the supernatural is as useful as debating belief in the best color. Talon, I think you're confused about a lot of things. So A, debating the belief in color is silly because that is a subjective preference. What I think the best color is going to be different from other people just based on my personal preference. However, we can all agree that colors exist. They are parts of the light spectrum, and that's all really that we're dealing with. Now, what about the supernatural? It seems like we should be able to determine if that exists by looking at evidence, and we should follow where the evidence takes us. And right now, what I see is there isn't any good evidence for the supernatural, so I don't know why we would believe in it. Our beliefs should proceed from evidence for them, not just because there's a story we like. Now, I also think you're confused on the nature of atheism. And I'm not out here saying that there's absolutely no God anywhere. What I'm saying is I don't see any good evidence for a God. So I don't really need to have evidence. What I need to do is look at the evidence that theists provide and decide if I think it's good. And guess where I land so far? In reality, atheism is a reaction to theistic claims. It is saying that I don't think that those claims stand up. I don't accept them. And frankly, I don't think that there would be any atheists if there were no theists, because without theism, atheism doesn't make any sense. I guess to summarize is that if there is no evidence for the existence of the supernatural, I don't know what we're even talking about. It doesn't matter if there isn't evidence against it, although, by the way, I think we could find some if we wanted to look for it. But if there isn't evidence for something, why would you believe in it? Why would you even think of it as a proposition? Let's move on to the next comment. So I have a couple of comments on the video. Lily J asks why atheists believe in the miracle of something from nothing. Logic stands before God left me 2 comments with some anecdotal evidence. 2 anecdotal experiences posted by 2 fellow Americans, and there was no middleman in both narrated story posted on YouTube. 2 Americans asked God for guidance from their heart in whole sincerity. It was Allah who answered their call. One man came from Jewish family and another man came from U.S. military family. Both men came to Islam for the miracle they experienced. True story posted on YouTube, unbiased reports. Both men started to hear Islamic call to prayer azan. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. In the middle of nowhere, both men reported same incident. Both men were former enemies. I don't know why there are so many quotes around enemies of Muslims. If it were not for the miracle, they wouldn't have bothered with Islam. Both men were truly longing for God and guidance. If your heart is pure, this could be you in the next. You cannot fake your supplication to Allah. Your Creator knows about you more than you know of your own self, inside and outside, ... That's like, cool story, bro. No link or anything, just like, trust me, bro, energy kind of thing. But if Allah knows me, why can't He show Himself to me? Like, He must know what's in my heart and everything. It's funny that I have to have a sincere supplication to Allah, but He knows I'm not going to have a sincere supplication to Allah. I don't know. This doesn't make any sense. Logic Stands Before God posted a follow-up. This is a little bit of a repeat of what was before. Number one, these men truly longing for God guidance, and they supplicated to God from their heart, which resulted in miracle. In other words, two separate individuals had prior supplication to God, and then their supplication was connected with the miracle, and it was not a random miracle, and these men were new. They had supplicated God. There's a lot of supplicating to God in that comment right there. That's a lot of supplicating is all I'm thinking. It seems like you wouldn't need to supplicate so much. Number two, these men were former enemies of Muslims, which means they were not biased in their claim in the least. Yeah, that's what they said. They wouldn't be biased or anything. Three, these men had no exterior motives, such as looking for immigration, looking for a spouse, or looking for financial gain, okay? And you know that how? We don't even have a link or a name or anything about these men. Number four, these men were not born to Muslim parents or brought up on Muslim culture. I guess if they were former enemies of Muslims, that makes sense. Five, these men had no Muslims friends, or connection to Islam, and there was no middleman between them. The God showed and answered their supplication, another supplication. No middleman in the story posted. I don't even know what story was posted, so I don't. What middleman? 6, the video was not made by Muslims and it was not posted by Muslims men. Didn't you say they got all of our... I'm very confused at this point. I don't think we need to deal with this anymore. It just seems like if these miracles are possible, then Allah or God or whoever can make them happen, and we don't even need to be talking about it. Let's go on. On that same video, I got a comment from Pathfinder1273. Wow, how condescending can you be, lady? I see no difference between you and her, to tell you the truth. Oh, wow. And my thought is, achievement unlocked. Pathfinder, I think there's an easy way to tell. I'm the one that's snarky, and she's the one that, well, sincere isn't quite the right word. Disingenuous maybe. Let's move on. The next couple of items comes from the video, We Get Our Purpose by Being God's Gloves. So Zach Gray, 4696, writes, I totally get the epistemic issues with the Bible and all the cringe, but I believe that if you sincerely ask for a sign and guidance, you will get it, even to the extent that it scares the shit out of you. But, quote, Dad isn't going to help you with your homework unless you consent, like you're still independent. But again, you have to be sincere. Another person that says you have to be sincere. You can't test Dad, like all of the scare quotes, like you'd ask an animal to do a trick or domineer someone to prove themselves to you. Dad's way is smarter than you. The point is that existence can be divinely excellent and joyful. It's funny to me that there are Christians that get mad if atheists call God Sky Daddy, but then they write stuff like this, like it's Dad all over the place. Isn't it a little funny that Christians always presume that atheists never tried to ask God sincerely? They just assume that we've never even thought about the question. And a lot of atheists come out of some form of Christianity, at least in the West. They're obviously atheists from all kinds of religions, but in the West, they come out of Christianity. So I replied to Zach, I was a believer when I was a child, and nothing stopped me from losing my belief and faith. I've posted my deconversion story on my channel. It's nothing really all that exciting because really what happened was I gradually lost my belief in Catholicism and then in any form of Christianity and finally God. Nothing bad happened. It just kind of slowly drained away. And I guess my point in writing things like this comment is to tell people that there was a time when I did believe and no God showed himself to say, hey, don't walk away, child, or whatever God would tell you. I don't know. I was a teenager at the time, so probably still a child, I guess. Aren't we always God's child? I don't know. Now, as a Catholic, I was told that I wasn't supposed to accept any kind of sign from God because God was busy running the universe. And so I never actually expected anything. But, slowly it just faded away. And if God was going to give me a sign, scaring the shit out of me or not, he had plenty of opportunities. And even when I left Catholicism, I still went to churches for things like weddings, funerals, that kind of thing. He could have given me a sign at any time. I was receptive. And frankly, he could still give me a sign. I could still change my mind. My life isn't over. But, he's not doing anything. I kind of think he doesn't exist. So I posted that. And then Warrior of the Lord 4142 showed up and says, when he shows you once, period, you have seen it and there is no way to unsee it, and you will even go far to demonstrate what you have witnessed. And I wonder if Warrior of the Lord witnessed something that he's not telling me. Wouldn't you go far to demonstrate what you have witnessed? I don't know. But anyway, Christians out there, why don't you pray for your God to give me a sign? He supposedly knows me and he should know what I would accept. So that's what I've got for you for the comments. Thankfully, most of the comments on this channel are kind of interesting to read, and I've got a really nice community down there. But every so often, these come up and, it's interesting. People are interesting. That's all I've got to say. So let's give up on people and turn our attention to kitties. The first one I have for you is Gina taking a drink out of this pitcher. Supposedly the pitcher is for watering plants, but they love to drink out of this. And then we have Susie Q in a napping pose and just very cute. And I wish I could have gotten the facial expression just before I took this picture because it was super cute, but she's still pretty cute. So there you are, kitty pics, to thank you all for all the liking and subscribing and the YouTube stuffing. I really appreciate it. And if you haven't already, you can like, subscribe, and of course comment. Who knows, maybe I'll do a comments video about good comments. The thing is, there are usually so many good comments, it's hard to choose the best ones for a comments video. So keep them coming, people. And if you like what I do, you can also buy me a coffee. Here are just some bonus pics of my kitties. Thank you for the kibble. And thank you to everybody who's bought me a coffee. It is so, so appreciated. I love your comments when you buy the coffee, and I really appreciate it. And so do the kitties. And that's what I've got for you now. Don't know what's coming next, but it's going to be stupid. Bye for now.